Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Collision Repair's Industry Insider. I'm your host and the editor of Collision Repair magazine, Allison Rogers. Today, we've got Jim Sarnovsky, the Vice President of Sales for North America for SprayMax Peter Kwasny SprayMax Inc. on the line today. So, Jim, we really appreciate you tuning in today. We're going to be talking about the 2K aerosol can and technologies. So thanks so much to Jim for calling in today. All right, so welcome back, everyone, to Collision Repair's Industry Insider podcast. I'm Allison Rogers, the editor of Collision Repair magazine and your host for today's session. We're here with Jim Sarnovsky from Peter Kwasny SprayMax. Jim, how are you today? Today's Thursday. How are you doing?
Doing great, Allison.
Fantastic. Nice to hear you. Of course, when everyone's listening, it won't be Thursday, but when we're recording it, it's a fine Thursday in August. But today we're going to talk about the 2K aerosol can and some of Peter Kwasny SprayMax, the products that they provide to the industry and just the technological benefits and the things behind the products that we can use them for and et cetera. We'll dive into that today. Before we get started, Jim, just tell us a little bit about your time in the industry. How long have you been in collision repair, automotive, and specifically, how long have you been with SprayMax serving the industry?
Well, thanks, Allison. I've been in the business overall 30 plus years. I'm now the Vice President of Sales for Peter Kwasny, looking after the North American markets, which include Canada and the US. I've been with Peter Kwasny. My first introduction to the company was back in 2012 when I was with another organization that through this area of consolidation, we purchased a company that represented SprayMax. So I got my introduction there and I've been with them ever since and really took over my role in 2017, looking after the North American market.
Absolutely. So you've got a lot of experience, serving customers all over. You were just telling us how you were in Ottawa the other day. So serving customers all over North America with the quality products that you guys provide to the industry. And tell us about those products.
Well, SprayMax is a brand that came into the North American market 20 plus years ago now. And we came in with one component and two component aerosol cans. We're an aerosol company. And what we do is provide solutions for automotive refinish and also to a lot of crossover businesses like the industrial market, the car makers around the world, and a lot of other OEMs that produce transportation equipment. So we have products that can do professional repairs. We do repairs and we do refurbishments on particular transportation pieces, let's say. And what we do is provide a professional solution where you can do a repair like you do the traditional way with a spray gun, but you can do it with an aerosol can. So we brought that technology into North America and it's been very successful and we're riding a good high the last 5 years.
Absolutely. It's a very unique solution for anyone that is unfamiliar. I highly recommend checking it out. We'll obviously dive into some of the details today here, but it's a very unique solution for the repair industry. You don't really see too many things like it. And like you said, you've been in here for 20 years with these products in the market. So tell us about how the two-component 2K aerosol can really came to fruition. I know you kind of just touched on it there, but let's dive into the nitty-gritty and where did the idea come from and how has it kind of developed over the years?
Right. Well, Peter Kwasny developed the 2K aerosol can to provide a professional solution when doing any automotive repairs or any industrial repairs. The ability to provide that durability to a repair is very important if you want it to last and want longevity out of it. So having a two-component can allowed us to do repairs, to give an option to customers. Instead of doing it the traditional way, you can do it with an aerosol can.
Mm-hmm. Pretty, like I said before, it's a pretty unique solution, that handheld experience. And some people might be scratching their heads if they've never used a technology like this before. But why is it important to have a 2K can to do repairs on your production floor? Tell us about how the technology can provide a unique edge compared to traditional methods.
Well, Allison, that's a great question. 2K is all about durability. And if we can provide a professional, durable repair, a lot of times it can be done outside the paint booth. And why is that important? That's important because we don't do overalls, we do repairs. And it allows the booth to remain profitable by doing traditional overall repairs where you can do our repairs outside of the booth in the prep area and allow the shop itself to be a lot more productive. So a 2K repair gives us the ability to do a durable, professional repair, but also if a customer doesn't have a compressor, it allows you to still be able to catalyze your product, which you're using, in order to give you that result that you're looking for. So a couple of real great advantages of a 2-component aerosol can is that durability and that performance, but also having the ability to do it. If it's not available to you to have a compressor, you can still do that repair.
I think that's a key detail we need to touch on, that this isn't for complete jobs, that this is for repairing things. You don't have to go into the paint booth. You don't have to do as much as you'd be doing with a typical traditional method. So I think that's a key detail for us to stress on, which, like I said, leads us into our next question. How does the product really work and where can it be used? Does it extend beyond the body shop? Like, could this be used by a consumer if they knew what they were doing?
Absolutely. And it's used quite a bit by a serious do-it-yourselfer. It is sold a lot over the counter in jobber stores, as well as into shops and into industrial facilities. So how it works, we have a cartridge within the aerosol can that contains the hardener. And there's a red button. We're known for the red button on the top of our can. And when a customer is ready to activate the can, they take that red button and they push it on the bottom of the can, and you can hear it release the 2 components together. And that's critical. You have to shake it a couple of minutes after you do that, but then the part A will mix with the part B, and it'll give you that perfect mix ratio so you can do your repair. So it works that way, where it combines the resin and or the coating as well as the hardener all in the can. Now, where can it be used? It can be used in the shop, as we talked about. Serious do-it-yourselfer, if they're doing some work at home. It's incredible. We have people painting guitars with our 2-component clear coat. There's casket companies. There's so many different people and customers that use our products. Industrial is probably our biggest growth area to complement what we're doing in automotive refinish. Automotive refinish is still very, very, very important to us. Restoration accounts use our epoxy primer and our clear coats, but industrial business is really where we're starting to see a lot more activity. And this technology lends itself beautifully for that, to give, again, there's a lot of refurbishment being done, and they can do so much of this outside the booth and get those vehicles back on the road. So we really have a winning combination of products and uses for our 2-component technology, and it's really growing and it's really showing in that market.
Yeah, that's so interesting. Like you said, laughing there at the caskets. What a unique solution to provide.
I visited the manufacturer about 3 weeks ago, and I was blown away. It's incredible to see the coatings that go on those.
That's so funny. I mean, it's cool to see the automotive refinish. Obviously, when you see a shiny car, brand new paint, there's like a sense of pride, especially if it's your own car. But to see that same sense of pride extend to other industries, especially end of life industry, that's just so interesting. But how many other companies can say that they touch on industries like that? So pretty neat. Definitely want to check out some of those guitars too. That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of videos, and it's incredible. I mean, these people are so talented that utilize the product, but to be able to provide them with something that we know will last and make their piece of equipment, in this case, a guitar, and many other things, motorcycles, etc. But it's really incredible to see that. These people are really talented that they're actually applying this product onto their piece of equipment. So it's cool to see.
Mm-hmm. So clearly you can add automotive or industrial color to your cans to provide alternative solutions to customers if they're looking for something more customized.
Absolutely. And that's the real advantage. We do have the ability to add single stage or industrial paint to our cans. And we don't have a universal can. We have 4 or 5 different 2K cans for color. And why that's important is we work very closely with all the major paint companies. In fact, all the Peter Kwasny products have inside the can, it's nothing but approved, OE approved coatings from the major paint companies. We don't make our own paint. We provide the customers with OE approved paints from the major paint companies. So why is that important? When you talk about industrial color, all of these manufacturers have different paint technologies. with different mix ratios, with different solids levels. And what we've tried to do is we work very closely with their technical people to match up our can to that paint technology. So the great news about that is you're able to do a professional repair. You don't lose the gloss. It dries beautifully because you're drying and you're curing it the traditional way, and you're getting a great result out of the aerosol can.
Absolutely. I think that is a key detail, as you mentioned, that all of the coatings inside of those cans are OE approved, manufacturer, the ones that you're familiar with that you have in your shop, that it's not just some random chemical formula that you're spraying on. That's absolutely a key detail for people to know. But very interesting. I mean, obviously, like we said, those guitars, the fancy coatings that people are putting on the cars and everything like that, obviously they're going to be some flashy colors. They've got to have some sort of flair to them.
Yeah. The other interesting thing too, Allison, is that technology changes quite a bit, as we know. And I think it's great that we're able to work. We've got 2 projects right now with 2 of the major paint companies to match up their technology with our cans. So it's great that we work closely with them where they can see some benefit. It's not taking away anything from the paint business. It's, as you said earlier, it's about repair. It's about refurbishment. It's about doing some of the little things that can help them sell more color as well, because we're doing some of the steps with our aerosol can, providing that professional finish, but it complements what they're doing, let's say, in the paint booth with overall repairs.
Absolutely. Yeah. It just showcases their technology in a different kind of way, almost. Appreciate that point there, Jim. Shelf life. That's something I wanted to touch on too. I know you mentioned for one of the products that was like, you can use it up to 2 weeks or something like that. But what is the shelf life of the typical 2K aerosol can?
That's a great question. And it varies depending on the product, just because of the technology of what you've put into the can. Mm-hmm. Some we have that last a full week. Some we have for 48 hours, some we have for 24 hours. It all depends on the product. And the significance of that is if you were to compare it to doing a repair the traditional way, if you're mixing a clear coat, let's say, the traditional way, you have a lot less open time or shelf life on that to utilize that product. So we give a much longer shelf life in all of the products that we sell. So it does depend on the product. So it's not a one size fits all, because all technologies that we're putting in, whether it's epoxy or whether it's a urethane product, they're all different in their chemistry. So there are different shelf life or open times that we have.
Of course. Yeah. And people can find that information either through a representative, or I'm sure there's some information available online.
Right. There is very little waste, if any. Normally, if it's a busy place and they're using a 2-component option, they can utilize the can without much effort at all.
All right. So you mentioned that there are a couple different types of cans that you sell. But what are all the 2K products that Peter Kwasny brings to the markets that you sell to, whether it be the automotive or industrial sectors?
Yeah. So outside of the 2K fill cans, which you just touched upon, were actually filled color, we do have a number of what we call pre-filled 2-component cans. And this is a ready to spray product grouping that has a various shelf life depending on the particular product. Some of our more popular items that we have, 2K epoxy primers, which are a standard in the industry when you're looking for corrosion protection and durability when you're top coating whatever you are using the epoxy for. We have them in 3 different colors. We have a beige, a gray, and a black, and it works beautifully, and it's a great introduction to the industrial segment. But it's also used quite a bit in the restoration industry and traditional automotive as well. So the epoxy primers, and the great thing about the epoxy primer is once you activate the can, it's good for a full week in the shop. So there's no problem consuming that product up. The other thing that our most popular item is our 2K clear coats. So the Glamour Clear is our best-selling item. And again, you get 48 plus hours after that. So there's no problem utilizing that product up. We also have 2K Clear in a couple of other different finishes too. We have a matte finish and a satin finish. So you can get that same durability and UV protection in a clear coat out of the aerosol can because we offer that 2-component option. We do have a couple of 2K ready to spray, what I would call factory packs. We actually have 3. We introduced a gloss black and a gloss white, and we also have a satin black. So we have the three most popular colors in ready to spray in two component. So that's important to people like municipalities, amusement parks, trailer companies, anybody that want to just clean a surface and put a durable two component coating on it where it's not going to fade and it's going to last and last. Well, we've got that available in a ready to spray two component product as well. The other intriguing item we have in 2K is we have a headlight clear now. Now, we simplified this process, and the great news about the headlight clear, it's a high-end clear from one of the major paint companies, and it has some adhesion promotion in it. It's not a traditional, just a repair product that you see in retail. It's an actual overhaul. So they sand down the polycarbonate on the headlight, and you apply the two-component clear coat over it, and it'll last and last for years with that finish, and it won't wash off through car washes, etc. So that's a very popular product that's gaining a lot of momentum right now.
Wow, that's a lot of information there, Jim. You guys got quite an arsenal of products there for a variety of different solutions. I'm particularly interested in all the different finishes that you offer there, but the technology is just so vast. Like there's so much there. So I highly recommend checking out the website, www.spraymax.com. If you want to look into more of the products, like Jim said, there's a lot of videos on there about more information for the technical specs and just how to use generally some information there. So we'll link that down in the description as well for people. But Jim, just because you listed off that massive list of products there, what do you find the most interesting, or what's your favorite product to work with or kind of recommend to customers for, I mean, obviously there's various solutions that you're looking to tackle, but what is a product that you would say you're most proud of as a SprayMax representative?
Well, certainly because the 2K Glamour Clear is our most popular product, we do have end users in all different disciplines using the product. So that makes us feel great that we're able to impact so many different solutions and applications. So that is one that comes to mind simply because of the, as you said, the finish. Once you see that finish and you're confident because it's a two-component finish, which you know it's going to have that durability, there's nothing like that because you feel great about providing that solution to a customer. But the epoxy primers, I think, are the real product grouping that has the most potential because it crosses over into all of our business units. It's used in all of our applications, be it, as I said, some of the refinish in the restoration side. I was just in two very large shops who use our epoxy primer in their shops, in their production shops, which typically people haven't used much in the past, but largest shop in the United States. I was just in Texas 2 weeks ago, and they were using our epoxy primer in the production shop. So restoration customers use it as well. All of the industrial customers, like I used to be more in the coatings business and industrial as well. And think of all the interior compartments of fire trucks and utility trucks. They all have to be epoxy primered before a coating is put on them. And ours allows you to do that with no overspray, no induction time. It saves the customer so much time and money. So I just think that versatility of the 2K epoxy, and then being able to top coat it, and then ultimately, if they want to put a Glamour clear on it, we've got that solution. So that's what kind of makes us most proud.
Mm-hmm. And the whole package there, having that available as a solution, that's really unique too. So
from start to finish is always what we've tried to emphasize with a SprayMax system, if you will. Try and do it all the way from the beginning of the repair to the end of the repair. And you know, that's just something that we're known for, and it's something we're quite proud of.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate the little insight there to the personal, what Jim likes from the SprayMax product line. So before we close things off here, I'd just like to touch on another topic here. Do you think having the 2K option gives your customers an advantage in selling to their end users? We've touched on a lot of the different applications here. Like you mentioned, there's complete packages that you can do from start to finish. So do you think that option provides an advantage to the customer?
Yes, Allison, I absolutely do. I mean, we always, in all of our industries and all of our competitors, we tend to have what we would consider a better, best option to do a repair and to provide a solution. And I think that having a 2K gives them the ability to do it to that next level. So for example, there's a lot of times when a one component bumper repair is sufficient. And depending on what the customer is looking for, it's totally great to have that. But if we have that 2K option, then you can do a real traditional professional repair like you would get in a shop if you want it to last and last with durability, etc. So no question, whether it's in automotive refinish or industrial, having a 2-component option gives that customer to go from a better solution to a best solution. And all of our products fit into both categories. We have products for the better solution, but we also, because of the 2-component products, we do have that ability to give them that best option as well.
Excellent. Well, awesome. Those are all our questions here today. So thank you so much, Jim, for taking the time to sit down with us and chat about the SprayMax 2K aerosol can technology. We really appreciate you providing this insight to our readers. And of course, always a pleasure to get you on the line. Always a fun time chatting with everyone from SprayMax.
Well, thank you very much, Allison. It's always great talking to you as well. And it's great catching up. Don't leave it so long next time.
Absolutely. We will catch up soon. We'll make sure to have you on the podcast again soon to talk about more different, some different applications for products. Maybe we'll get you in a video sometime soon.
Thanks so much, Allison.
All right. No problem. Thanks, Jim.
Bye-bye.
And thank you so much to everyone listening in. We really appreciate you tuning in today's episode of Industry Insider. Be sure you're subscribed to the podcast. We're available wherever you get your podcasts. That's Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, and even on YouTube. So be sure to tell your friends and tune in next time for another episode of Industry Insider.